off of.
I feel so. I think so. Just off of, I guess, my personality or whatever. But at the same time, the internet trolls are coming out in droves.
Oh, good God!
We won't get started on the trolls.
I'm a big pro wrestling guy. I've been around the pro wrestling marks. I've all these different things. But I'll tell you, MMA marks, man, are a completely different breed, brother. Oh my God!
They're different for sure, for sure. But they all have their special places in this world.
Yes, yes, and they're all paying customers. So,
from what I've been introduced into the world, I think I still like MMA above wrestling.
Well,
I'm getting back into the wrestling scene because now I understand what it is and I understand what it's meant to be. It's basically, in my eyes, it's basically a live action cartoon. And that's how I look at it.
I've been saying that for 20 years.
You're not wrong, Mike. You're not wrong.
So once I started looking at it from that kind of point of view, I was like, it's cooler. I dig it. I like what they're doing.
Now you do realize the haters are gonna hate and start there and make fun of it and troll that, right?
Oh yeah,
of course.
Yeah, they're gonna do all sorts of different things. We've got Mike Jackson with us today. He has just come off a win over CM Punk on UFC. Mike is apparently going to be in the Kansas City area apparently very soon doing a jiu-jitsu super fight, which will be very interesting.
I want to see the fight.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him out there. So I'm actually coming back from Lake Charles, Louisiana right now, headed back home. I get a week off. Well, not really a week off, but next weekend I'll be in Beaumont for a Legacy Fighting Alliance. But then I'm back on the road. Well, I'll be on Truth Jet. I'll headed out to Nashville, Tennessee for a jiu-jitsu super fight as well.
Hey, I'll tell you, they always talk in indie pro wrestling. They always talk about making towns. I always wondered if they make towns in MMA and the world of jiu-jitsu. Right there, Mike Jackson. They make towns. He's going Beaumont. He's going. They're making towns and doing the drives, as they say. Now,
I like that.
Now you have a very, very interesting background just before you got into this whole thing. Tell us how you got started doing MMA, jiu-jitsu, all this stuff.
Man, for me, I come from a well-off family. I'm supposed to go to school, get a great job. But as a kid, I wanted to compete in karate and boxing, but my mother wouldn't let me. For me, it was all about, team sports. I did basketball, football, tennis, baseball. I did all these sports when I was a kid, but never could compete as far as combat sports. And then I was in college, and I was at Texas A&M for a little bit. And basically, fighting fell in my lap.
Yes.
And I really stuck with it. It was something that I wanted to do and pursue. And I never thought I would. Well, I knew I could make a career out of the fighting industry, but I never knew it would. I never thought it would lead to the UFC. That was never a goal of mine. And then, like I said, the media personality, all of that kind of just came out and brought itself together. And again, that's how I make my living now. This is my career. It revolves around fighting, whether I'm in the cage or whether I'm outside taking pictures. This is my life, and I love it 100%.
We've got Mike the Truth Jackson joining us on Skype audio today, and he has just come off a big win over CM Punk UFC last weekend. I watching the lead up and the build up to this was the Phil Brooks thing that you kept referring to him as Phil. What was that, like a Liston Ali thing from back in the day?
No, that for me, that was just it was me projecting that into people's minds.
Okay.
A lot of people, they got caught up in the whole CM Punk thing. They're like, I'm fighting this former world champion.
Yes.
And so what I went out there and did is basically I took that sort of superpower away from him.
Yes.
I caught up in the hype, and that was all strategic. I did that on purpose, and months later, I realized that when people were interviewing me, they were even calling him Phil. Like, they weren't calling him CM Punk. So the marketing work. You know, that's what I do, man. I'm a businessman, you know, and I know how to make, you know, as far as the strategic goes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So it was all marketing, as they say.
That's what this whole fight was.
Well, yeah,
so
that's the.
When I cut the promos and I had the Instagram post with the Money in the Bank briefcase, all of these things like that I was doing. It was all strategic marketing.
I've got a question before I get taken over by all the testosterone in the room.
Yes, go.
You sit there and said that you taste food and you have a love for food. How do you sit there and separate the food from the MMA? Because don't you have to stay a same weight?
Well, I fight up at 170, which for me, I mean, it's more size. So I don't really, like, I woke up the morning of weigh-ins. I woke up about 2.5 pounds away. And that whole week, like when I got there on Tuesday, I was eating steak and shrimp, steak and like spinach and all kinds of things. I was having curry and you know, gyros and stuff like that. But it's all about just eating the right foods. You know, when I'm fighting and getting ready for training and things like that, I typically stay away from the fried foods. But other than that, everything is game.
We've got Mike the Truth Jackson joining us today on Skype audio, and we are about wrapping up our first hour here on our big broadcast. We have 2 more hours to go. We're going to be talking with No Longer Human. They are going to call us on the telephone, and Darken the Doorstep is going to be with us in studio, and I, of course, will probably rant about some local pro wrestling stuff. And we were supposed to have porn star Kelly Cabana on today, but she, her press people got a hold of me, and they're like, we can't find her. So I don't know what's happened to Kelly Cabana. But we did find Mike the Truth Jackson off his win over Mr. CM Punk last week at UFC. And Mike was detailing all his different fights and jiu-jitsu tournaments and things he's got coming up. So with this UFC win, how many offers have you been getting for fights, and how much has that phone been ringing off the hook, brother?
You know, as far as fights go, you know, it is what it is. You know, as far as what's next, you know, for me, I don't have to fight. I just do it because I love it. You know, and this is just a great opportunity for me. You know, if I never fight again, I'll be cool with that. You know, I make a lot of money outside of, you know, stepping in the cage and basically willingly letting someone try to punch me in the face. You know, like I said, I'm just here to have fun and enjoy myself. And if it, you know, whether it be a fight in UFC, I have guys